Well, the AFL round 5 was a complete disaster, so hopefully things can only get better in round 6. Oh, and I'm a founding member of the Tasmanian Devils. Exciting, I know. The only plus side is the first few games were awful for everyone, or most people at least. So let's get checking out how we did. So Thursday the 11th, it was Melbourne versus Brisbane, and 89% of people followed me and went for a Melbourne win. I did Melbourne to win by 14. I didn't think they'd win by loads, but they actually lost by 22. So straight away, nothing on the board as well. If you were in that 11%, one person got a correct score as well. So well done to you. Then we moved to Friday and it was just as bad. 88% went for Western Bulldogs. 12% went for Essendon, and that 12% are correct. No points again. I went for a Western Bulldogs win by 20. Essendon won by 29. You're getting the theme of things now. It was the underdogs certainly pulled off some results last week for sure. Then Saturday, and finally we got the correct result, but they only won by 1. Geelong? GWS Giants versus St Kilda. I did a 40-point win for GWS. They actually won by 1 point, so I get nothing. And I think one person got the correct score difference as well. So well done to you. But at least I've got 1 point. That is basically where most people got their first point of the week. Then Carlton versus Adelaide Crows. 3% of people went for Crows, and they won by 2 points. Carlton! I'm going to bash you at Carlton again. Useless. Absolutely useless, Carlton. Oh, God. And they are technically below Sydney. So, screw you, Carlton fans. Yeah, no one. Look at this, 97%. Just no one even got a correct score difference. So, disappointing. Then, Gold Coast Suns versus Hawthorn. If anyone can remind me why I picked Hawthorn. I looked at it this weekend just gone and I thought, why did I pick Hawthorn? Like, Hawthorn are useless. Absolutely useless. So I don't know why. I did Hawthorn by 6 for some bizarre reason. And they lost by 53. So I get nothing. Most people got a point for that. 93% of people went for that. So, what was I doing? Then, Port versus Fremantle. I predicted the correct result. I did an 18-point win for Port. They actually just scraped through because Fremantle imploded. They ended up winning by 3 points. Unbelievable, Jeff. Unbelievable. Some people did get the correct result though, and the correct scoreline to be precise. So well done if you were that person or those people. Sunday, Geelong versus North. I didn't predict a 75-point win. Possibly someone did, actually. Now, the thing is, with North, they have been scoring. That's the frustrating thing, that they let too many in. But I didn't predict a 75-point win to Geelong. I got the correct result, though, so that's something, I suppose. Then, what the hell is going on? What is going on? 81% of people went for Richmond. And I know Richmond are not necessarily strong at all at the moment. They are really not firing. Similar to last year, they're struggling. But West Coast are awful. However, West Coast on the day, they did enough because although I did Richmond to win by 30, West Coast won by 39. So well done for the people that picked that. No one got a close score though. Sorry, it's hard to see with the certain colours. So let's see how we're doing in the leagues. There's not ridiculous amounts of movement at the top. Yin is still first, Guru's still second, and Mimi G is still third. There's a little bit of swing, 5 points up. 5 places up for RPN and Enel. Well done. But then Shrek third and Sam Bird is down 4. Banana Jojo up 11. So there's a little bit of movement just really. And Judo Ezza up 12. Down 12 is Hazy. Not bad from Mike Joe up 24. Very good. Yeah, there's a little bit of movement. Nothing massive really. Up 21 is Magpies 2023. AFL Legend up 13. Jackson down 12. Ouch. Owie up 24. Where am I? Oh, God, this is... Oh, my word. I think that Hawthorn game cost me big time because I am down 21. What an absolute disaster that is. And I don't see myself being I need a good week. I need a really good week. Let's see who gets the wooden spoon. Hang on. The golden hat goes to Giants 4. Wooden spoon. Beep Bop. Beep Boop is down 4 and gets the wooden spoon. We'll keep going so everyone can see where they are. There you go. My school report would say must do better because I've got to do better, don't I? I really do have to improve. Now we're on to round 6. St Kilda versus Western Bulldogs at Marvel Stadium on Thursday. This is a tough one. Both teams have got pretty much identical form. Looking at them in the table, Saints are currently 12th, Western Bulldogs are 11th, so there's nothing splitting them. So who the hell do I call? This is not easy, not easy. I think I'm going to go with St Kilda at their home stadium. I don't really have anything to go on. This is anyone's game. And I would expect, when I look at it next week, the split should be quite tight with who people are picking. But yeah, I'm gonna go with St Kilda by, I don't know, 6. Let's go with a low, tight scoring game. St Kilda by 6. That is a very difficult one to call, and it doesn't stop with difficulty because on Friday the 19th at Adelaide Oval is Adelaide Crows versus Essendon. Now Adelaide Crows, they stole a victory last week in round 5. They got their first win that takes them up to 14th. They still probably won't make top 8, but you never know, they may hit some form. Essendon, they are now playing away from home, but they're okay. They're sitting in 9th. They're on the 8th spot more or less, level on points. Have they got the quality to beat Adelaide Crows? Is this now a turning point for the Crows, who may be finding form? You know, they've had a rough patch. Are they going to win 2 back-to-back? And they possibly could. Essendon, for example, they are not winning back-to-back games. So, on that logic, we're going to go with an Adelaide Crows win, see if they can win 2 in a row, and we're going to do a win by 3. Yeah, it's going to be a tight one, I would like to think. So, a Crows win by 3. Saturday the 20th at MCG is Collingwood versus Port. Port obviously doing well. They snuck a win. They snuck over the line last week. Collingwood, are they now hitting form? They are 2 wins back to back. But Port have only lost their 2. Look at the team. I don't think Port looked that strong last week. I think they struggled. They weren't very attacking, but they were against a very defensive side. So they really struggled to break down the opposition last week. Whereas Collingwood, they've had a week's rest. They obviously didn't play last week, so maybe they'll be a little bit fresher, although they shouldn't really be that tired after only, five games. So, what do we think? Can Port go away from home and get the victory? I think, yes, they won their last game, but they weren't convincing. But I think that is partly due to the fact that they were playing against a very defensive side in Fremantle. So I think if Collingwood are a little bit more open, Port could possibly break through that and get the win. So I'm going to go a Port win by 8. There you go. Tight game. Should be a tight game. These games do look like they're going to be quite tight so far. Anyway, Marvel Stadium, Carlton versus GWS. Now, Carlton really messed up last week. They really messed up last week. And GWS are playing very, very good footy. They are on fire at the moment, and you don't see them losing. Now, maybe Carlton are the team that will give them their first loss. You don't know. GWS playing away from home, but that hasn't necessarily affected them so far. But maybe this is one of the tougher tests that GWS have to face. But I do like how GWS are playing. I think they're playing some free-flowing football. It's exciting, and it pains me to say that considering I'm a Swans fan. But I'm going to go with a GWS win. I don't want to, but Carlton annoyed me last week, so, you know, emotions are getting the best of me. So, a GWS win by 10. I just don't see any scores at the moment. I think they're very close contests this week. Really, really close contests. But then, Brisbane head back to the Gabba, and they are facing Geelong. Brisbane, they pulled off a cracking win last week, didn't they? Away from home at MCG. But is it enough to beat Cats, who are in second place? Last year they had a shocker, right? Going from winning the grand final to having an absolute shocker, and all of a sudden they look like the team that they were in 2022. They really, really do. They look exciting. They're scoring goals. They're not, they're winning fairly convincingly. And Brisbane have not had the consistent form. They have won their last 2 games back to back. And will they beat Geelong? Now, their record is pretty good at home, Brisbane, except the last few times they've played at home. Let's go Brisbane. Let's go for a Brisbane win. Let's see if Brisbane can give Geelong their first loss as well. Let's give it a try. I think Brisbane, if any team, they could. So let's go a Brisbane win by 5. Another game that is the potential to be very, very tight. Then Optus, we have the Perth Derby. Not Derby, Derby. This is the Derby, the West Coast Eagles versus Fremantle Dockers. Optus, both their homes. We've been to the Optus, and they've both got their own changing rooms. So this is a home game for both of them. Who's going to win? That is the question, and I don't know. Oh God. Now, obviously, West Coast managed to win. I don't know how, but they did beat Richmond. But Richmond isn't a strong team. Fremantle have slipped up a little bit. They've obviously lost their last 2 games. They threw the last game away against Port. They really did throw it away, but I can't see them losing to West Coast. It's got to be a Dockers win. It's got to be a Dockers win, surely. So let's do... I think Dockers could afford to be a little bit more attacking as well in this game. Let's do a Dockers win by 17. There you go, by 7. It's a random number, let's be honest. It's always a random number. 17. Then, Sunday the 21st. It's at 4 a.m. Why is it at 4 a.m. my time? Actually, it doesn't matter because I'm away. I won't be watching any AFL games this week because I will be in Poland. So there's no live watch-alongs this week, so it doesn't matter. But either way, Sydney Cricket Ground. Beautiful place. Sydney versus Gold Coast. Now, Sydney currently sitting in 4th, only 1 loss on the record, which was out of character considering the form we had. They obviously played 2 weeks ago, and we had not the best of games, but we still managed to beat West Coast when we should have destroyed them. Didn't perform our best, but we should win. We should win. On paper, players are playing well. Unfortunately, we're still sort of in 3rd gear. We're not blowing teams away like we can do, but it is nice to see Isaac Heaney, for example, sitting back in the midfield and actually doing things, creating opportunities. We are performing okay, so we need to step up and go into 4th and 5th gear. But I can't see Gold Coast winning this. I can't see Gold Coast coming to SCG and winning. So let's go with a Sydney win by 30. Let's do 30. I just want to see those goals go in, and I want some consistency. Performance-wise, I want the consistency. Yes, we've won 4 out of 5, but I want the performance to be consistent as well. Then, Marvel, North versus Hawthorn. It is battle of the bottom. Who is going to move up? Is it going to be North or is it going to be Hawthorn? Now, in my opinion, North have been performing, scoring goals better than Hawthorn. Hawthorn, I don't think Hawthorn have ever really looked like they were going to win. They had a late surge last week, but not enough. I'm going to go with North. I think they can possibly get the result, but this is one where it could go either way. Both teams are pretty bad. All I'm going to rely on is the fact that North are able to score goals. So let's go with a North win by 20. So the picks for this week are St Kilda to win by 6, Crows to win by 3, Port to win by 8, GWS by 10. Then you got Brisbane to win by 5, Fremantle by 17, Sydney by 30, come on you Bloods, and North by 20. Now, this coming week is a very, very difficult one to call. We had it 2 weeks ago where it was pretty easy. A lot of people got 9 out of 9. I got 8 out of 9. And this week, though, is almost the complete opposite. It's a very, very difficult one to call. There is a lot of teams facing each other in very similar veins of form. So I don't know how it's going to go. Fingers crossed, as long as Sydney win, I will be happy. But thank you so much for joining me. Now, if you want to support the channel and you want some cool merchandise, then go to asweare.space and you'll see my cool designs. You can get them on t-shirts, hoodies, different style t-shirts, mugs, everything, cushions. So go check out asweare.space and obviously make sure you like and subscribe. And I'll catch you next week.